My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Samaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Looks like we're set for the entire evening, really, of tennis here. First, it's going to be Swiatek Noskova with me and Mario. Then also Fonseca, Paul with me, Brenner, maybe Fergus. We're going to have that as well. That's going to be both matches in the night session on Manolo Santana Stadium. Mario, yes. I mean, Linda Noskova against Iga Swiatek. It seems like a matchup that, like, if you look at it on paper, 5-1. But nah, there's more to that story.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, many matches have also been quite tight, regardless of, the form of the players. And yeah, with Iga not playing definitely her best tennis. And actually, we cannot really say it for Noskova as well. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, these conditions can maybe help a little bit Noskova compared to other clay courts. And yeah, we'll see if that, I don't know, let's say reaction that Iga had in the match against Teala maybe can, make her play a little bit calmer today, and maybe cut off a little bit the number of mistakes, which, was very, very high in her opening round. And it has kind of been a pattern lately, meaning that when something doesn't go in the right way, she struggles a little bit in the match. She tends to try to, I don't know, overheat at times, and it's I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's not really easy to predict because it will, of course, depend a lot of, which version of, especially Iga, but actually both players will show up. And it's not something that we can really give for granted for both of them for this match, I think.
Yes, indeed. I think what Alejandro said in the chat, I mean, más tranquilidad is kind of the key in Iga's game right now against Teala. That wasn't really the case. There was a lot of ball bashing. I actually think she might do a little bit better today, just because, like, she won't have much time to think. She won't have much time to overcomplicate things. She will have to be, like, pretty reactive to what Noskova is doing. And yeah, I mean, 5-1 in the matchup, but probably only 2 wins, I'd say, were relatively easy. And if you remember the Indian Wells clash from last year, that actually also wasn't that obvious. I mean, it was only when Iga pulled it back to like 4-all that she completely runs away with it. But there was like a significant number of games where Linda is very much threatening to trouble her. Maybe the only clash that they ever had that was straightforward was back in Warsaw in 2023. Otherwise, everything has been super close. Noskova always kind of like comes up. Comes against Swiatek really like fired up, motivated.
Yeah.
As you said, she hasn't been performing too well the last couple of months, but I kind of value her chances of bringing it here. Also, as you what was I going to say? I don't even remember. Anyway, oh yeah, you also mentioned the conditions in Madrid. Of course, yeah, they should be more suitable for Linda here than any other clay court.
Yeah, I don't know where you are. The start hasn't been very promising.
yeah, I saw the double fault.
But yeah, I mean, of course, the serve is going to be a massive factor for Noskova, for example, already in this second point. Big serve and then the +1. I feel it's always been some sort of big help for her, of course, in this matchup, but more or less every time in her tennis, it's important. So yeah, of course, the start will be important because, for sure, considering, Iga's matches lately, if you manage to stay close and to stay there, then maybe she can, play, as we said, not as calm as she should. While, if your start isn't great and you can give her confidence, and then we know that she still is a quite good front runner, meaning that even though she's not living the best season so far, she still won few matches with harsh scorelines. So you have to put yourself in her mind, let's say.
Yeah, I think serve as well. You hinted at that with Noskova. Obviously, her serve return game, this is going to be pretty vital here. I think it was Doha when she was just like hitting aces left and right. And of course, that's the last match they had. It was very tight again. And yeah, of course, the ability to return Iga's serve aggressively, that should be pretty big too. Well, you said it wasn't looking promising after the first point, and I did also have this little feeling in my mind when she double faulted. I was like, is this going to be one of those days? But of course, it's impossible to judge after just 1 point. And in fact, the next 4 were very promising indeed.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good serving, and as you said, that +1. Then she throws in the drop shot, and it's also really good. So yeah, ball back to Iga now.
Yeah, serving first. I don't know who has chosen it, but considering how where Iga is right now, can even help Noskova a little bit, and also maybe not help Iga. Even though of course it's tough to predict, to say it's too early for that. But yeah, we'll just see.
Ashley Young is very underrated, Nurlan. By the way, Nurlan, did you give your prediction already? Probably not. But I imagine that Nurlan is going for Noskova today. He basically always is. Yeah, that's more or less it in the chat. Oh, actually, no, there was one question for me. Would I consider myself a coquettish person? I don't know. I guess I could be in, like, let's say, specific situations, You haven't seen me flirt, Nurlan, because I would never do that with you. But no, generally, probably not. I'm like very down to earth.
Well, Iga started quite well with her serve as well. Of course, it will be important for her, to put a good number of first serves in. Where Noskova can struggle more second serve, then maybe Noskova can start the point where she prefers.
Yeah, kind of the typical thing. Like if Linda is returning really deep inside the court, then go at the body a bit more. I mean, Iga should be used to that because obviously everybody is attacking her serve. But yeah, I mean, all the previous matchups basically. I mean, I'm pretty sure they know exactly what the other player is going to do, really, and just most of the time, if you're to like have an average of the last 6 matches they played, it's kind of like Noskova is obviously bringing the fire on serve and return, especially early aggression in the points, and usually Swiatek survives, but usually it's just barely.
Yeah, of course I was. They've played so many times, actually, considering
Still
also...
one of the most frequent matchups, right? If you think about it, like their first match was July 23, and it's their seventh since.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, also to still very young players having already played 7 times, you know, Noskova is 20 years old and she has already played, you know, Iga 7 times. So I don't know, probably they also are maybe a little bit tired.
Ghosty, I've literally never seen this word in English before. I know what it means because of connections to other languages, but I was literally just guessing with the pronunciation. Although I don't really know how else you would also pronounce it. I mean, it's like a croquet, right? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. That's basically
winning the major.
me explaining myself.
Why not? I don't know, meaning that I can see herself being a player who, you know, who can pull off a fantastic week or 2 great weeks. You know, it has happened other times also. So, you know, it's not something that I really cannot see.
The movement of my head was not a reaction to what Mario was saying. It was more to the second serve of Noskova here, right on the line. And Iga was obviously trying to like step in, but was not expecting that at all. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like her chances to, let's say, at least make a slam final at some point of her career. I mean, she's obviously super talented, still hasn't like figured out the consistency week to week. Maybe she never will, but that's not really what you need, right? You just need to play 7 amazing matches in over 2 weeks, maybe like 5 or 6 amazing matches and fight through the other 2. Of course, it's tough, but I mean, some other very aggressive players have done it, like Ostapenko is kind of like the main example, of course. Vondroušová is not that type of player, but like if I'm thinking about her winning a slam, I don't really see why Noskova would not have a chance to do it. It's like basically she's going to have a 0.5% shot at every single one of the next 50 slams, and maybe at one point it goes in. I don't know.
Also, Mueller won. Okay.
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, I think that after watching their most recent clash in Stuttgart, it was one where you could actually believe that she will beat Penko at some point. Yes, because it wasn't like the full-on panic mode from Doha. I'm not gonna go as far as saying that like there were some good ideas there. That not really. But still, that was an Iga that showed she is willing to fight against Ostapenko, and yeah, she's going to try taking that, you know, anytime they play next. So I think she will. Yes, after Doha, I wouldn't have been so sure. But also, it obviously depends on how many times they play. But let's say it goes up to an even 10, so 4 more matches. I do think Iga is definitely going to take it, at least one of them. She's also got 2 breakpoints here. One of them was secured with this great pass of the backhand. Nothing wrong with the Noskova slice approach there, but Swiatek was on it. And yeah, after that second serve ace, we have 2 breakpoints now.
Yeah, I have to admit I have no idea about Berrettini. I wasn't following that match, so I have no idea. I just see that he's very up in the score now, so I can maybe assume that, but well, I don't know because I'm not watching. So
is Kostyuk even? Yeah, I was thinking, Ghosty, about it, that it's maybe a little low, the 0.5 that I mentioned. Also, I liked your joke about the cock. But also, like, Kostyuk is even married. I don't know, Nurlan. So yeah, I can't say much. And also about the Berrettini injury, I wasn't watching it. From the tweet that the producer showed us on the screen, it seemed like Gil was talking about a set point, and well, clearly he is fine in the third set. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was one of the set points he had in the second set tiebreak, because I saw a little bit the timeline panicking. So and that was the moment. So I can tell it has to be one of the 3 set points he had in the tiebreak in the second set. But yeah, judging the scoreline, I cannot really tell. He can't play right now, but of course I'm just guessing.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Facundo Bagnis yesterday. He retired 2 points away from winning. Yeah, just got a leg injury, had to sit down, tried coming back onto the court, but like even on the way to the baseline, he just said, no, I can't.
Okay.
He had this interesting, like, usually players take a ball and they throw it out of the stadium, right? With their, just hit it out of the stadium. And he tried to do that with the hat, but obviously a hat doesn't float quite as well as a ball. But yeah, I mean, clearly was extremely angry. Well, he's been injured for like a year now, so for it to strike again, I definitely understand that. Well, I mean, great start for Swiatek. And I feel like recently, getting a good start is pretty important for her, like even more than it was. I think we've always said that, like, if she is facing somebody, especially who she's expected to beat, if she just starts like for love, the match is done. But also when she starts well now, I think she just avoids a lot of that panic that's been in her game of late.
Yeah, I mean, she looks so far, I think you've been pretty spot on saying that she looks like she doesn't even have that much time to really overthink about. So, the start was, her just doing the right things on the court, what she needed to do. And this is out, okay. Maybe, I don't know. The first game she served also pretty well, so I
mean, Noskova is doing pretty okay on clay without that ghosty. Probably the bigger issue generally has been what Jake mentioned, so the footwork, the movement. But I mean, she's doing okay right now. I don't think it will really come into play in this matchup all that much. If it does, then it means that Iga is doing extremely well anyway. But typically, I guess it's not that exposable.
Has Iga won a tourney with Fissette? No. No, because the last one was at the French Open last year.
No, you could argue she hasn't even made a final. There's that United Cup. Is it a final? Is it not a final?
Not really, I think. Oh, I mean,
I actually treat it as a final for a very specific reason. Like, it wouldn't be a final for me depending on who she played, but because she had to beat Mukova, Bolter, and Rybakina and won 4 matches in a row, then lost the 5th one, it's kind of like exactly like a final.
Yeah, that's true. Also for the players she faced.
And just like for Coco, I treat it as an individual title, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, she also she went undefeated as well.
Went undefeated, beat 5 like mostly strong opponents. Yeah, I think it was Paulini, Swiatek, Fernandez, someone else in the semis. Yeah, I mean, I just do it like that for both of them. Well, 2 breakpoints right back here as Swiatek misses his backhand down the line.
Ciao. And yeah, at times I feel like lately, of course, Iga could at times be a little bit more patient. It's been a pattern lately. And, especially today against somebody like Noskova, I know that at times you may feel, the pressure of, somebody as aggressive as her, as Linda, trying to take the time away from you. But I don't know if it's, the right thing to do to just, basically play at the same game. Here it was all perfect.
Yeah, all the movement comments, Ghosty, definitely more talking about lateral. I mean, it really doesn't matter much how she's transitioning to the net. I mean, not as much as lateral movement, maybe like 10% of it. And here we have a good example actually of just not recovering to the middle after that return, and not much she can do from there because she's pretty slow on her feet. So definitely has to try to stay ahead. Dobrego, fantastycznego popołudnia. Thank you. It's a little weird. But thank you. Like the sentence is a little weird, but okay. As dobrego and fantastycznego are basically like same thing, right? It's if somebody told you like good fantastic afternoon or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, never mind. Just kind of unusual in Polish. But yeah, when Noskova is just dealing the blows, I mean, who cares how she moves?
But that's fine, even if you are the opponent. Like if the opponent plays and strike this way, it's fine. There's few things you can do. I still think Iga doesn't have to let these points that she may lose against this player try to to go for too much at times, and maybe playing with more shape at times can help her. Of course, it's not easy against somebody like Noskova because you don't have that much time to do it. But yeah, here 2 good points by Linda. Not really big mistakes even here.
Yeah, I think she's done it very well on occasion, like against Rybakina and Doha, for example. But obviously, this is still something she's working on. Sometimes we don't see the effects of that really. And well, she gets broken here. Not sure if she did anything crazy wrong here, Swiatek, but maybe the first few points of this game were a little, like I just got a break and like switched off for a couple. And obviously, that's come back to bite her eventually. So 2 games on. Nurlan, I have no idea if I wear slim fit or regular fit pants. I don't even know that. I mean, I can imagine what the difference is simply because of slim and regular.
Why are we talking about this?
I'm fine. I'll answer. I said it before. I'll answer anything. I don't have secrets.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I actually have no idea. I am, as you know, Nurlan, I am very much not into clothing. That's interesting. That's for sure. Roses are red, violets are blue. Damian breaks more hearts than an American diet. Doesn't really rhyme there, Ghosty, but yeah, sure, I appreciate it. We do indeed have our version of roses are red, violets are blue. A lot of Swiatek fans are also overreacting regarding the Wimfi set partnership and how she hasn't really, as Ashley said, won that much yet. I don't know. I mean, something there isn't working properly. That's for sure. In terms of, oh wow, like whether it's her not being able to internalize. Yeah, that was insane. I mean, it's not like she's moving well to that direction, but that actually forces her to go for this super risky, no margin shot. But it works out for Noskova here. But yeah, I was just gonna say that like either she's not internalizing some of the advice that she's given, or the advice is poor. But we can't really know that. There was that weird thing in Miami as well, where after the match with Eala, she was kind of putting the blame on Vim, like, or actually more like her entire team. And yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. We have a lot of different languages in the chat today. That's for sure. We had Spanish early from Alejandro, Polish now, Turkish.
This is, I mean, that's for sure. If it lands in, then it's a great shot. But that's a good hold for Noskova from love 30 down. Actually, I don't know if you have heard Andreeva.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean,
no. Okay, go. It was something which was more about the languages in the chat.
Andreeva did what?
Basically, they asked her to say something in Spanish, and she said el que se fue Sevilla perdió la silla. And I was about to teach how you say in Italian, because it made me laugh, because in Italy we actually have a very similar way of saying, and it's like chi va a Roma perde la poltrona, and it has the same meaning. If you go to Rome, you lose the chair. And it made me laugh because I thought it was something, basically all Italian, but there's a very, very similar saying in Spanish, just with another city.
Yeah, but what does that mean then? What does it mean that you lose
Basically,
the chair?
you say it when you get up from a chair to do something fast, and somebody sits there instead of you. You come back, and that person replies you that way to say that you have no right to reclaim your place because you just left and now it's mine.
Yeah, I don't think we have that in Polish. Not really. There's a funny saying that we have, which I don't think is actually. I don't think it exists in English, and it's not Africa. Here you should close the door or something like that.
Okay.
To nie Afryka, tu drzwi się zamyka. So in Polish it rhymes. It's tough to rhyme it in English. A little racist if you ask me, but okay. But yeah, no, I don't think we lose any chairs. Very interesting though that they have like, yeah, and the producer is also mentioning Chile, so they have at least 3 different versions of these, just different cities.
Yeah, basically just the city which rhymes with the word
first come
chair.
first service, kinda that, yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's just no cities in Polish that rhyme with the word chair. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, that's a nice forehand. That's the shape.
Yeah.
That's the shape we're looking for, Iga. Obviously, she also played with more shape. I mean, I mentioned the Rybakina match in Doha. She played with more shape a little bit, at least, in the last set and a half against Eala. But that's not really what I was going for, since obviously there, she had all the time in the world to potentially add that and to attack. It's definitely not the same as today. Whereas Noskova, I guess you could somewhat compare her to Rybakina.
Okay, that's a good rally won by Iga. She needs few of them.
Yeah, a little fortunate on that one backhand, but
Darderi retired. Okay.
Who was he playing? Francis or
Francis.
Yeah, Francis. Okay.
Basically,
a little surprised that Draper won this easily against Stalin.
Yeah, but well,
The rare ace of Iga Swiatek, 182. I have to say that the serve has not looked terrible today. Definitely not.
No. When she can hit it that way, it's...
Yes, you still think she should add more shape on that, Ghosty? No, I mean, I think she's fine as it is. Of course, yeah, maybe some other clay courts, sure, but I think here, I mean, you can kind of play like a hard court, and the flatness of her forehand is definitely an asset most of the time, I'd say.
Also, I mean,
Especially
it
against
also
someone like
has...
Iga. What's her record against Goff? Does she have a good record against Goff? I can't think of any single match they played against each other.
Well, I don't remember as well.
I'll check that. But yeah, I mean, even if they played, it's also kind of a good representation of how often Iga and Noskova mean, because
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because it's just like the frequency with which we'd expect like a Swiatek Sabalenka or something like that.
Yeah, about playing with more shape. Yeah, it's reasonable to think about it, but for me, it's also if it can work for her. Of course, there is, let's say, a more classic way to play on the surface, but then you have to also look at the player, and then I don't know, when for example we say it about Iga, is because we know that Iga can do this very, very, very well and can excel at it, and it's also another big weapon that she has. So I mean, it's not like from one day to another. Of course, Noskova can start playing with more shape and being great at it. So it's not easy to
Well,
say.
she does not have a great record against Goff, but they only played twice in 2023. So I guess that year she was also losing to Swiatek pretty comfortably. So yeah, they just haven't played since what was Cincinnati 23 or something like that. So yeah, a while. Speaking of Coco Gauff, though, she did progress through to the fourth round today pretty easily, and she's going to play another opponent who she's facing all the time this year. So Belinda Bencic.
Oh, is it the third already?
Did I say progress to the third round? To the fourth round, yeah.
No. The third time that we play against each other.
Oh, the third time. Yeah. I mean, Indian Wells, Australia, right?
Australian Open, yeah. That's true.
We'll see, Ghosty. I honestly don't really remember too many clay performances from Noskova, so I'd kind of like to get back to you on that, maybe. I'd say that Bencic should also beat Goff, but I'm a little like I didn't watch the match today against Haddad Maya, but I'm a little surprised by that, the fact that she struggled there, and yeah, just not sure. Yeah, Stremska did indeed almost win, but today Bencic struggled quite a lot, so I'm not sure why that was the case. I did watch her against who did I watch her against? Who was the first round that I didn't watch along on? Oh, Clara Towson. And I did like her performance for sure. I have no idea who Mateusz Gamrot is. If that's supposed to be a Polish person, that's definitely not the right spelling of the name, of the first name, I mean. But if it's not a Polish person, then I definitely don't know either.
A good return here. So break.
It's looking quite promising for Iga. She also won this really long, like angle heavy rally to claim the previous game. So yeah, definitely not looking like in panic mode so far. I think kind of what I said at the beginning, that she's gonna have a very clear game plan here, and that might actually benefit her, because against Ala, she just had a little too many options, I guess.
the match against Deara also was a mix of many things. Like, yeah, she played Stuttgart, but of course, first match in one of the three big tournaments where she defends the title against a player who gives her a lot of time to think, but also a player who beat her very recently. So I don't know. I think there may also have been many factors that altogether, made Iga look that way, especially at the beginning of the match. So, yeah, I was expecting actually a calmer version of Iga Swiatek today, and I think we are watching it. So we'll see now if this break.
In a twisted way, I think she kind of likes the matchup because she just knows exactly what's gonna come from Noskova.
Yeah.
It's not quite as scary as Ostapenko, and she kind of just relies more on her instinct, on her physicality, on her ability to just play with more margin than Noskova. So I do think that in a twisted way, even though it's so tough, she kind of doesn't mind playing Linda in the same way that, of course, Jelena is just so threatening for her.
It may also be.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say it may also be a difference. I think Ostapenko likes to hit a little bit higher rather than Noskova. So probably this lets Iga also with less opportunities also when, she tries, maybe we play with more shape, and with Noskova this can be more effective probably rather than against Ostapenko. They are just two different players, actually, in my opinion, even though the game style is still, both play very aggressively, hits very fast. But, I don't really consider them so similar as players.
And in terms of me keeping up with Zangar Nurlanuri's results, no. But actually, I recently ran into his name because I think I was maybe looking at Mario's countryman, Jacopo Vassami, and how he was doing last year in the ITFs in juniors. And I think I just saw that Zangar Nurlanuri was playing in Bytom in Poland in July. And I was like, oh, I didn't know the guy yet. But yeah, then, of course, you kind of brought it up for me, Ozan. Zangar Nurlanuli is a Kazakhstani junior who Ozan likes because there's that Nurlan part in his surname. He's like top 20, 50 right now. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, pretty high in the junior rankings. In terms of this question, Ghosty, I know a lot of people say Monte Carlo just because of the view, I guess, and kind of like the vibe. I think it should be either that or maybe, guess what, Estoril. but yeah, that these would be my two votes, I suppose.
Oh, that serve. Well, it was impossible to return, especially with Noskova staying so close to the baseline.
Yeah, as I think I even mentioned that like 20 minutes ago, right? That if Noskova will be close to the court, a lot of serves at the body. But of course, Iga knows that. Like that's literally how she has had to play against these type of players over the last 3 years, more or less since Caroline Garcia just stumped her in Warsaw. So yeah, I'm sure that Iga, with this part of the game plan, she is very much familiar. Is Estoril more intimate than Monte Carlo, for example? I cannot tell you, Ghosty. No idea. Because I haven't been there. Like Rome, Madrid, sorry, Mario, but they seem to be like a little bit more, I don't know, just average, I suppose. Just like not stand out as much.
Meaning what?
Ghosty was asking which clay tournament to visit in Europe.
Okay. Well, I don't know actually because I haven't been I have to say, to many big tournaments. So only to Rome and the Paris Master, but the Paris Master is a totally different because it's indoor, it's way smaller. So I cannot really say.
Yeah, I also don't have the necessary. I mean, I suggested Monte Carlo because it's like a lot of people say that, and I suggested Estoril because that's why I can actually, that's one I actually have experienced and will experience in today's time again. Well, there was a break point after a longer exchange where Iga does not have enough time to produce the forehand of one of those super flat hits from Noskova, but she survives it with a strong serve out wide.
Very good.
Yeah, and here in points like that, the advantage, the edge in terms of the lateral movement is just coming. I mean, just so obvious, right? The backhand down the line from Noskova was pretty strong, and if Iga played something like that, probably she just stays ahead in the point. But Iga is able to play it open stance, cross court, and that's like over for Noskova at that stage. So
yeah,
sometimes she is able to show it.
These down the lines, they just have to be, 100% perfect, if not. Especially on the forehand side, when you play Iga on the forehand. But I mean, even backhand. Me and Travis. Okay.
Thank you, Ghosty, for this honor. I have to say though, Mario gets a little bit more in that. He gets like what, 3
That's
letters, four
Actually,
letters. I get
4
letters. Yeah, you get 4, I get 2. So maybe you should try to make it a bit more even. I feel like if somebody hears Dario, there's a very close connection to Mario, whereas with Mario,
indeed. At first, I didn't understood that it was a match of the names.
Yeah, if he didn't say it in the comments, then I probably also wouldn't have gotten that. So anyway, 5-3 Swiatek saved the breakman, obviously.
That was
and then
huge.
the serving is looking pretty nice. So that's probably the biggest benefit, I don't know, like plus side of her performance so far. She's calm, she knows exactly what to do, and so far it's paying off.
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely watching closer version to the one we know.
Yeah, the champion last year in Madrid, and she's defending 4,000 points over the next 3 events, which, might seem like, okay, it's Iga, she's number 2. Like, what difference does that make? Actually, it's like over half of her ranking, and she could even fall out to let's say around the top 10 mark. So, the pressure is on for sure. Even if she fails in Madrid, she would have Rome and Roland Garros, more suitable conditions, but. Well, as we know, even one loss, one poor set, one poor match can lead to a bit of a tragedy there.
Play season is not as long. So, especially, of course, the women don't even have 3 1,000 events. So, it always feels like every tournament is huge for her. And this always because she excels on clay, but especially this year with, of course, everything. Let's say everything to defend, meaning that, of course, her, let's say, top 2, 3, even 4 player status depends a lot on what she will do.
It's also the first year when she's defending Madrid, Rome, and Roland Garros. She never completed the treble before. So I guess if she was winning Stuttgart in 22 and 23, the difference in points wasn't that massive, but it's also a factor, I guess.
Yeah, because in 23 it was final, title. So
so that was not the difference in points, I guess, with the Stuttgart title. So it was a little different, yeah. I think also what you said about the WTA clay season, it's really quite weird. Like I don't like the scheduling because it feels like you only have one warm up event for Roland Garros really. Like nobody plays Rabat and whatever is the other event in the second. Well, nobody even can, right? Oh, sorry, there's Strasbourg. Okay, Strasbourg they
Strasbourg
can because it's a
is
500. So yeah, I guess some players play Strasbourg, like Collins and Keys last year and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is that basically for like most players, there's just one warm up on slow clay, and so like the clay that you're most like the clay that is the most similar to what you're going to get at Roland Garros. Whereas Madrid, Stuttgart, like these events don't really warm you up that much for Paris. So it's much better, I think, on the ATP side where you don't have that. Well, obviously Stuttgart is one of the best events on the tour. I'm not saying that's wrong, but like you have that one extra 1000 and also the 500s. So Barcelona, Munich are, just more normal conditions rather than the artificial indoor clay in Stuttgart, which is an amazingly run event, but it just doesn't make much sense in the calendar, I guess. It's like a 1 week trip to another place, which I love, but I think it maybe, I don't know, could be planned a little bit differently overall.
I don't know if that was hit that well, but it was a winner. So
that's fair, Ghosty. I always provide the big D.
this is a tough question.
What's the question? Did I not see it? Ooh. Okay. We'll think about it in a moment. Maybe after this game, as obviously it's looking to be quite contentious. Swiatek going low 30 in when she's trying to serve it out, but obviously already got the first point.
In ATP 500. It's a tough question. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ghosty Charleston, yeah, that's actually another good example. It's another warm-up that, another 1 week event, really. Another like mini 1 week swing, kind of like Stuttgart, right? It doesn't warm you up for the rest of the clay season. So it's like more of a prolonged stay in the US that doesn't help you for Europe. So yeah, I do think there's a lot of things that don't make there are a lot of things that don't make much sense about the calendar in April and May for the WTA. It's done better on the ATP side.
This is a bad return. Let me leave you for this point.
Okay. Well, 30-all, Swiatek really upping the spin on that inside-out forehand, and it's going to be enough. Got that like middle return from Noskova. Definitely helped a little. But also, yeah, just a really good +1, just quality spin, not forcing it, not trying to just end it with a beautiful winner on the line or something like that. Just focusing on the quality of the shot, quality of the spin. And she's gonna get a set point for that, which yeah, I mean, so far she's definitely been like just a better player overall. Let's see if she can also produce that set point, which obviously doesn't always come together. And Noskova will also have a second serve return to look at. Oh, wow. I mean, it's an incredible combination from Linda.
Okay.
Massive flat forehand again at Swiatek. Iga handled it, but had to raise the ball a bit. And then Noskova comes in. Inside out backhand winner for deuce. What was that Noskova coach doing with the hand? Was this? I'm not really sure what sort of technique he was showing. Was this the Iga get that he was trying to replicate? The forehand, how she handled? I'm not sure. It kind of looked like that, but it would be a little weird, I guess, if he was doing that. Yeah, another one, 184. What were they doing? I mean, I don't know if you heard about that, but I think after the Ala match, Swiatek and Fisset just went on another court for like 30 minutes to practice. Were they just serving the entire time?
It may be, but maybe actually because it's not like it's difficult to you really hit that much after a 3-set match.
Okay. Yeah, I was like almost ready, you know. I was already waiting for Noskova to make an error and to say that Swiatek is just extending the point beautifully here and doing everything right. And you know what? She was, but Noskova just doesn't go away. That's another pulverizing backhand winner.
When the pressure is not extremely high, meaning that she's behind in the score, down set point, she finds the best.
Yeah, that's fair as well. The psychological aspect there definitely makes sense.
Even though the score is pretty close, so it's not like you're down set point and you have no pressure, but still, you know, she kind of asked a little bit too much here.
I think, Jake, the most viewed streams were recent, the Eala ones. So I don't know what the exact numbers were, but I think that was that. Anyway, another set point. I think that lands on the baseline from Swiatek, and she will get the set. So on the third one, she converts it. Oh, there is Daria. I haven't seen her before. There was like a shot of Vim, which was just him, and I was thinking, is she not there? But she is. Anyway, 6-4 after like 40 something minutes.
Quite good.
Yeah, I think this is very much like a, you know, I'm the woman to beat on clay type of performance if she keeps it up, obviously.
Noskova comes this close because she is good. And overall, I really don't have much to say. So it was a good and enjoyable set, actually. So
yeah, Iga looking like she knows exactly what to do today. In fact, she kind of does. Obviously, Noskova had her chances, some beautiful winners, some beautiful returns, but Iga also serving quite well compared to her most recent performances, for sure. And she's able to respond to the pressure so far. I guess somewhat similar to all of their encounters, really. Like Noskova has her moments, has her, you know, amazing patches, but Iga is kind of able to wait out this offense. And let's see. She needs like one more set of this for us to say, yeah, this looks promising.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, Ghosty, I don't even remember who Ala was playing, but that doesn't matter. I think the producer even wanted to do an Ala doubles match in Rush. even that would be, you know, doing amazing numbers. It really didn't matter who was on the other side of
the airport snack food machine.
I'd actually like to see that though. I lost like 2 or 3 euros last year because an airport snack food machine didn't give me my bag of Maltesers, I think it was, or something like that. And yeah, I was really pissed because I was fighting myself like, should I buy something? Nah, I mean, it's an airport, it's overpriced. Probably not. And then I just finally committed to it, and it just didn't fall out, you know? Horrible stuff.
Do you think there is a myth about the fact that longer rallies favor Iga? She literally loses 80%. It seems a little bit too high as a percentage. But I don't know. With WTA, it's I find it more difficult to find many good stats. But I mean, in a match like today, I think it's true that, longer rallies more or less favor her. That maybe Noskova is still able to win few of them, hitting amazing shots, but overall, the more Iga can hit back and the more Iga can move Linda, and for sure she's going to be a bit favored today, even though of course also the serve has been important, so it's not like she's not winning many points also thanks to fast and quick combinations. So
isn't that what it's called, Ghosty? Like this red bag of chocolate balls? Whatever. Maybe it's just not around in the States. I don't know. I have no idea where the company is from. Anyway, we also didn't answer to this Ozan question eventually. Like if we're talking about reality, obviously like Johannesburg or something like that would be very possible. Of
yeah,
course, there are also these events that we have already, so like Rabat or Marrakesh.
yeah,
I
that's
would
true, Monaco.
where I would like to see an event, and I don't know what the situation is with visas and stuff like that, but I would like to see an event in Lagos, Nigeria. It's just such a massive city, Why
Yeah,
not?
that's
It always surprises me how big that place is. So I don't know. For some reason, I just would like to see an event there. Yeah, I don't know Whoppers, but it's pretty common here. Like I wouldn't say I buy it anytime. I only buy it when I'm like somewhere. It's not really food you're gonna get every single day, but it's pretty common here in shops. FAA is where. Yeah, that looks like very similar thing. Although I don't think that milk part in Whoppers, like I don't think that is in Maltesers. That's I feel like that's only like chocolate inside. I don't think the milk part is. But that milky thing in Whoppers, that looks good. Am I excited for Portugal yet? Honestly, not so much. First of all, I don't ever get excited about stuff, as you know. Also, I lost. I went to an ATM and it ate my credit card, and it's just giving me all sorts of issues regarding like logistics. Really,
okay.
I didn't realize how much it's actually going to cost. I mean, how much issues it's going to cost me because, first of all, like even if I can pay with my phone, I do it through a credit card anyway, right?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah, I basically have to do a lot of organization before, and I'm obviously not gonna get, because it happened on Friday, I'm not gonna get the card until I'm back from Poland. I think, however, I will be able to like activate it remotely at some point when it comes to my house, which should help. But yeah, for now it's been kind of irritating for me. It's just horrible luck, really. But what can you do? I will be excited when I get there. I'm not excited for the journey, but when I show up on Tuesday morning and at the event, I'm sure I will like it as usual. Anyway, I mean, I kind of rumbled through an early break for Swiatek in the second set.
Yeah. And this game, of course, can really be massive because, if Iga starts looking good also on the score, and then, for what we have seen so far, it's tough to imagine Noskova pulling off big comeback. I mean, anything can happen, but
Nishikori pulled out, and also just think of Fonseca. No, Fonseca is not going to be in Estoril. He's going to be making the semis in Madrid. Did you see that quarter of the draw? I mean, he's in the semis already. In fact, he's in the bottom half. Alcaraz pulled out. He's in the final already. I'm of course half joking, but like the opportunity is there, and I think he's only really going to be losing to like top players right now. So yeah, it's gonna take something to get him out of this event, and I don't think he's going to be in Estoril. In fact, even if he lost today, he might not show up. I mean,
yeah, it's probable.
perhaps we should just switch to the event that Alexia Ala is playing next week and just show up there with John.
Actually, I'm not even that excited about, that. When is your next tournament? Well, I should be in Rome, actually, but we'll see. I'm not going to say that I will be there until I set my foot into that stadium. So
make sure not to lose any chairs.
Yeah, sure.
And when in Rome, I mean, you know what to do. Just do as the Romans do.
As about the top player, I'm not even excited because, they are unaffordable anyway. So for me, if they pull out, okay, just pull out. It doesn't matter.
They're what?
No, actually,
Now, what did you say? That the top players were what anyway?
No, unaffordable, meaning that if you want to approach them as a media, I mean.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice to, of course, to see them playing. That's for sure. I've done it many times in Rome, and it's always good.
Yeah, I mean, with Rome, I mean, who is gonna pull out exactly?
No, nobody, unless there's something, deeper. Let's say like last year. I mean, the tournament didn't have both Sinner and Alcaraz, but it was for injury reasons. So.
Yeah. I mean, Estoril and all the others 175s, these are ones where I just never really pay too much attention to the entry list. I know it's going to be completely different than what it is initially.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah, you just have to be ready for that. Yeah, some good points again from Iga. Linda pulled, stretched wide and kind of has to come up with something. She goes for that drop shot, which wasn't that good, and Iga punishes that. So she's really in control here, and just has to not let this lead, this pretty good attitude towards the match, the tactics go.
Yeah, here losing the point, but actually reading the serve very, very well.
I read with Joao at first. Am I looking forward to watching the sunset? I mean, you're going into that territory again where you were asking me to, so that both of us have a Masters for Portugal. So I'm getting less and less excited about leaving with you by the minute. No, I mean, Mario, I think, unfortunately, will not be the new Pope. It's going to be something wild, right? It's going to be like a new country or something like that. So Italy is just passé in Rome, in Vatican City. I heard an amazing joke about Jesus today, but I don't think it works outside of the Polish language. So it's like very much a wordplay thing. So unfortunately, I can't give it to you, but I can't wait for an opportunity to tell it to a Polish person sometime soon. Well, obviously quite vital here for Linda to get a game on the board, which after this serve she should be able to do. Oh, yeah, sure. Novak Djokovic today probably would have lost the point if he had a smash like that, as Matteo Arnaldi would just sprint towards it like the demon he is.
Yeah, that was more straightforward than I thought. I know that right now, Novak is kind of a shadow of himself, but with Arnaldi, it's always some high and up and down, some roller coaster. But well.
The Pope talk continues. Mario, would you be surprised if the new
Surprised if
Pope
the new
is
Pope is
Filipino?
Filipino. No, I'm not into that at all. Actually, I have to say. But I've heard that there is a candidate.
I think he's the betting favorite. Someone told me that.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm really not into it because I'm not religious. So, yeah.
Yeah, someone told me that. I was just like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. I mean, Argentina was already like the church trying to be a little bit, for the entire world and like a little bit more progressive. So I guess it would make sense. Tommy Paul, no,
For the Pope,
the
yes. Not
the
for the match
Filipino
tonight,
king.
though.
I would be surprised if Alex Ayala is the new Pope, but I think that would give us even more subscribers. So maybe you should root for that. A woman Pope? No, that would be insane. I mean, we always had this. No, that's not even possible in the Catholic Church. But there was always this saying that if the next Pope is black, then the world is going to end or something like that. So I'd actually like
Yeah,
to.
I know it.
Well, I wouldn't like to see the world end, but like it was such a ridiculous thing that people used to say that, let's have a black Pope. I mean, why not? But it's been a conversation, I guess, for the past like few attempts. I'm not religious either, but I don't know. You just, I guess it's big enough that you still hear stuff about it. Yeah, Dave, I also don't really know if Tommy Paul will keep up today. Maybe I'm underestimating him and how, like, I don't know, he can make it difficult for Joao to finish off points or something like that. But Fonseca seems like a monster right now, especially in these conditions. Dario is the male version of Daria Abramovic. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but just came to me. Well, Noskova is hitting some wild returns in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ozan, you seem a little like, I don't know, what's your stance on John monetizing and trying to get the most out of Ayala? Because like I don't know, you're mentioning that for like the fifth time. It got us over 1,000 subscribers, so I'm definitely not complaining. Well, some of it was a little ridiculous, sure, but the outcome is very definitely positive. Fonseca, I mean, I think he was doing the same. Just we thought that the hype for Fonseca was massive, but we just didn't know that there was gonna be something even bigger coming up. Does Fonseca have the crowd advantage everywhere, Dave? I guess he might. Yeah, that was relatively pleasant for Swiatek this game.
Yeah.
6-4, 3-1. I don't know how you feel about Noskova. The belief that she has. This game was a little like, just going through the motions. But let's see. Obviously, the serve here is maybe more telling. I was already thinking of what I'm gonna say after match. I don't know why, but basically I just kind of like I came up with this phrase in my mind that the Swiatek serve today was on steroids, and that's not a good phrase to use in her case. I think a lot of people would kind of, because of the silent ban last year, and, probably best to avoid that.
WTA's next tournament.
Yeah, I don't know how to check like WTA 1 to 5 entry list, to be honest, because that part of the sport is still guarded like it's the the holy grail or whatever by the WTA. So Unfortunately, I don't know if she's playing something next week.
Yeah, that was a quick game.
Yeah, I can check the ITF entry list, and she was signed up for some 75s, but she pulled out of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe at 1 to 5 next week. But again, I don't really know how we check that. So unless the draws are out, which they actually might be. Yeah, I don't think they are out. She is playing in Vic in Catalonia. It's a 1 to 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's not gonna be that far from where me and John will be. She's supposed to be the 6th seed of that event. Bianca Andreescu is also there. Leila Fernandez is on the entry list apparently. Provided that the entry list I just found is, up to date, which again might be wrong. Osaka, of course, is playing Saumalo. That's one that is pretty confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, she received the wild card, so. Booking my flight.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely go there for the days that Ella is playing. I'll stay and keep guard in Estoril. Well, I mean, the previous hold was pretty uneventful as well. The match has lost a lot of temperature in the second set, that's for sure. That's also
Yeah,
why you
definitely.
see us not talking about this match. Because since Iga got the early break, it just kind of feels like, yeah, they're getting through their serves so easily, and she hasn't really been that close to losing that lead, but let's see.
Yeah, it's still a break, but a break back. It's not really in the air as of now. So
yeah, in the first set, it was always like just right there. Like
yeah,
I don't know,
let's see
two
if she
points and it's
holds.
there.
Yeah,
And it's not like that. Like it hasn't felt like Noskova is dangerous at all this set, really. So some more smashing action here, and Swiatek does make that.
yeah,
I think she makes like 99% of her smashes. It's kind of underrated, but it sometimes
Yeah.
looks very clumsy while doing it. But I still barely see her miss. Definitely one of the more comfortable players on the smash than
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
for sure.
on the WTA side. You see so many women just like going for the drive anytime, even though it's
Yeah.
clearly a subpar option in this particular case. But yeah, Iga is far. Ooh, that could have been another double bounce controversy, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a clear double bounce. But we've seen Iga not admit to that before.
Yeah, it was a double bounce.
Yeah, and it was called. So that was a very deep second serve.
But
Lots of good spin again. Noskova doesn't handle that. 6-4 for 2, ball change. Just cruising so far in that second set.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the first set, it hasn't been as one-sided, meaning that Noskova had also, for example, an opportunity to break back also the second time where she lost a service game. But overall, I confirm that we're watching, Iga just doing what she has to do, and not even many mistakes, just a fine performance so far. So the best news ever.
What's the news?
And here you read it.
Okay. A hair transplant. Is Dimitrov playing Estoril? Well, this match might be over soon.
Yeah.
Noskova had a big advantage in this point, tries to throw in the drop shot there at the end, but goes into the net with that. So 2 break points here for Iga to potentially serve for the match. And she's been, in this second set, she's kind of been 6-2 dominant.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
wouldn't be an outlandish score to post in this particular set. First set obviously could have gone even deeper. But let's see if she can actually break. And it's such a good return. I mean, after that, she probably should, yeah. Noskova, again, when she stretched so far wide, she's not going to recover to the middle. But also, I think she usually tries to get that shot at least. I think the last few games, we've kind of seen her be a little discouraged. But yeah, maybe she can have, what you mentioned in the opening set, right? When she's behind the score. Maybe she start being a bit more loose in the next game, but it's not looking too likely right now.
Yeah, even though, it's not looking likely because it's not just, it seems also that she doesn't even have that belief in order to really, want that strike to happen. I don't know. The body language is not that great after she got broken in the first time in the second set, but yeah, from Iga's side, of course, also a very good showing today. So she's serving for the match here. First of, let's say, potentially two opportunities to do so. Yeah, Darderi retired, yeah, against Tiafo.
Yeah, let's see. Some loose hitting from Noskova. We should see that. In fact, we probably do already. If she made that backhand close to the baseline, probably did. Okay, yeah. I mean, could have been a pretty spectacular
Disaster
point.
avoided.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we might see a break back here. Why not? Just gotta go for it at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way back. Iga's hitting some very good second serves.
Would there be a massive difference in terms of conditions between the evening session, the day session in Madrid? I mean, probably not to a point where like Iga's serve would look this much better, right? I don't think it's
I
that
don't think
really.
so.
Yeah. That's another really good plus one. Like this type of blocked return, I feel like if Ayala does that on 2 days ago, Iga misses the forehand for sure.
Yeah, but also the whole body language, it's completely different today. Too much points.
Well, it ends with a missed return, which probably like 30% of the points in this match looked like that. I mean, not a horrible effort from Noskova. She was definitely pushing Swiatek again in the opening set, but indeed the match lost a lot of its like spice after Swiatek broke in the second set, right?
Yeah, we can even argue after she won the first set. I don't know. Meaning that, yeah, of course, the second set had just been a dominant display from Iga, who, started looking more like herself. And this, of course, makes, us more hopeful about her game, considering the next matches. We'll see. But of course, she has another sort of different opponent next, so it will be another sort of match. But
Who's the next opponent?
Schneider.
I don't know. Oh, Schneider. Oh, that's interesting. Have they played?
I'm pretty sure they haven't.
Yeah,
because,
I don't remember it.
I
If
will
it
check
happened,
that
then it happened a while ago. No, that's quite interesting indeed. Yeah, that's just not something we're used to. That's not really a power player. That's not really a
No, they have
defender
never
either.
played.
Like it's a pretty all-rounded opponent. Yeah, it's like a pretty all-rounded opponent as well. That's very interesting. I mean, Diana hasn't had a good year. Basically not winning more than one match per event for the most part. Of course, this time she already broke that spell with a double bagel today. But of course, she was playing someone who has barely touched the tour the last 4 years. No, but overall, I mean, before we get to that, obviously, I do think this was like a real powerhouse type of performance. Like, I'm the one to beat on clay. Just knew exactly what to do because of their previous matches. I feel like she stayed super calm. And it's
Yeah.
not like at first she was also like running away with the scoreline, so it's not like it was that easy. And then once she broke in the second set, I mean, it's just cruising towards the finish. Nothing to add to that. Nothing that Noskova really threatened her with. But the opening set to me is a big win for Swiatek, definitely.
Yeah.
Just compared to the recent performances. And Madrid is also the conditions where we're mostly looking at like, yeah. So this clay court, there's like a wider range of players that can be there, wider range of big hitters, especially that can be there. And one of these big hitters that has troubled her before today was a little, out of answers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she got an early break, she got broken back, but I mean, it's not really. She has never even struggled on serve when she was, when she wasn't ahead in the score, even in the first set. She did really well, in my opinion. This is gold compared to 2 days ago performance, and overall I would say a good performance, especially because we've known that Noskova has been a player who has had her good moments against Iga, can trouble her at times. Looking now at the stats, Tian Verster's number, for example, it's quite good, just 14. Of course, Noskova is not maybe that player who also lets you maybe to hit that many.
Yeah.
But still, it's, I would say a very good showing. She kind of answered some of the questions that we had in our mind after 2 days ago match. And of course, it's still early in the tournament, so we will see how things progress for her, but this is clearly a sign into the right direction.
Yeah, truthfully, guys, I don't know how a do-rag looks, but indeed, Diana Schneider wears this bandana-ish thing on her head, so I'm sure you're talking about that. We can see the stat on the screen as well. 15 wins from 17 matches in Madrid, obviously 2023 final, 2024 title, 2025. Well, she is back to looking like a real contender. Very interesting match against Schneider, though, because of what we said. She hasn't played her, and it's also an opponent that has a variety of tools at her disposal. It's not just someone who's gonna like blindly attack the way that Noskova does, or someone who's gonna like try to mess her up like Ala did. So that's gonna be a quite an exciting matchup for sure in 2 days' time. But I mean, for now, we should probably end the stream as soon enough on Talking Tennis. We're also going to have the watch along for Pirate Hut is maybe, but Durag obviously is some word phrase that I haven't heard. Anyway, on Talking Tennis soon enough, we're going to have the watch along for Fonseca against Paul. So the next match coming up on this court, that's Swiatek and Noskova just played on. I wanted to say Schneider for a second. Anyway, thank you, Mario. Any final thoughts?
Thank you. No, I think we kind of said everything. So just looking forward.
The Dario duo is back. Well, we very often do ATP Weekly. I think watch along we probably hadn't done in a while. So it was very fun. I wish the second set was a bit more competitive, but obviously that's what we got. So let's go for Fonseca Paul in about 10-15 minutes, I assume. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.